afternoon. Incredibly how fast time flies. Another three-wheeler that is actually on its home turf here today, the Stanford Solar car. And the team from the Stanford Solar car project. Wesley is here with me, the lead of the Stanford Solar car team. So tell us a little bit about Xenith.
Sure, thanks, Ben. First, I should introduce the guys with me here today. Bob is on the mechanical team, Max is on the electrical team, and Nathan Hallsnyder inside the car there. He was our old team lead who actually designed or led the design process of building our most recent car here at Xenith. So Xenith, as you can imagine, is a 100% solar-powered race car. So on top, there's 6 square meters of silicon cells. They're similar to what you can have on a home application or a commercial application. And what these cells do is they give us power from the sunlight. It allows us to charge a battery pack and then drive this car at highway speeds. So Xenith was a car we built to race in the 2011 World Solar Challenge, which is a race across the Australian outback, coast to coast, from Darwin in the north to Adelaide in the south. It's a race that attracts teams from throughout the world. There's about 40 teams that come out to race. This vehicle here, Xenith, placed 4th in the production class and 11th overall. So the race in Australia is definitely the most competitive race for solar cars. It attracts a lot of university teams, private teams that come out and try to build a car that's as efficient as possible.
So, well, it's obviously a car that fits one person, and many people probably have asked you this, but let's discuss this a little bit more. What do you see really future for at least some part of the vehicle being solar powered going forward? What do you think?
So for us with this vehicle, because we had this one goal of building a race car that's as efficient as possible, we made some compromises. One of those compromises is the fact that the driver's compartment that Nathan is crushed in right now is a very small little box. So 5'5" is our maximum height for a driver, and anyone over that is just too tall or too wide. So David, you're a little bit tall, Senator. But what we're trying to do here is, like other vehicles here, we're a concept vehicle. So what we're doing is we're showing that even if you can't take your little Toyota or Honda or Volkswagen vehicle and put solar cars all over and try to go down the highway, most cars that have heavy roll cages, air conditioning, all the other luxuries of a modern vehicle, they may not be able to run on solar alone. What we want to show is there can be a connection between clean energy and the automotive industry. So maybe you won't have solar cars covering your car and powering everything. What you can do is have solar cars in your solar cells on your home, and then you can power electric vehicles similar to this and similar to the other vehicles here. So there can be that connection, even if driving this kind of vehicle down the road may not work for someone with a family and dog and groceries every Sunday.
Sure. But yet you're going to build a new vehicle basically starting this fall, and last time we talked it was not entirely clear what the new regulation or framework will be for the new car. I'm not sure if there's any update, but what will you specifically focus on for your next solar car that will be raced in Australia next year in October, right?
Yeah, so there's quite a few things. Like Sven mentioned, for us, because our big goal is racing this race in Australia, we're actually waiting until June 19th is our big day when the race regulations for the 2013 race will come out. And at that point, we'll start building and designing our next car. A few of the things we want to do with the next car. One, take some of our best technologies with Xenith and apply that to the next vehicle. So with Xenith, one of our newest innovations with this car, which had never been done by any solar car team in history, was we actually used glass as an encapsulant for our solar panels. So in the past, glass has always been too heavy for most teams to use as an encapsulant. It's used on commercial applications, but for a solar car, it's been too heavy. But for us, we worked with Corning glass. We're actually able to get glass that's 0.5 millimeter thick. So it's incredibly thin, but it's similar to the Gorilla Glass product. So it's still strong and flexible and lightweight. So for us, we had an array that had an incredible power production during the race in Australia. So we want to take that technology, a lot of our technology in terms of aerodynamics. This vehicle here had the smallest frontal surface area of any solar car in history. We also did some unique things in terms of aerodynamics with the skirts that aren't on the vehicle right now, but we tried to do some little tricks to improve the aerodynamics of our car. Additionally, this vehicle here, Xenith, actually has 3-wheel steering. So in crosswinds, one of the things that we can do with this vehicle is we can turn all 3 wheels of the vehicle in the same direction. So the wheels of the car can go down the highway straight, but we can actually point the aero body of the car into the wind to get a crosswind from the side. What it let us do is we could actually have the car driving down the highway, but we still had the aero body pointing into the wind, even though there was a crosswind coming from the side. So the next car, we're going to take that technology as much as possible, but We think there's going to be some new and exciting race regulations coming up in 2013. One of the things that our team hopes will be coming around is a regulation forcing teams to build four-wheel cars. Our team has built four-wheeled vehicles in the past, but this year we decided to go with three-wheel design because for us it's more efficient than just have three wheels. But hopefully with the race regulation that would make all teams build a four-wheel vehicle, we can actually build a car that's a little bit more practical in some ways. In fact, if you put a normal-sized person in there.
Sounds like a lot. And last question maybe, as you are obviously then starting to build a new vehicle in the fall, what's going to happen this summer? A little bit of aerodynamic testing I heard, and also some fundraising going on. So what are you going to focus on this summer?
So quite a few things. We have a team of about 50 members who are going to be around campus for the summer. So come June 19th, we'll have the brand new rules. In between then, we're actually going to be taking this vehicle here at Xenith to a wind tunnel in North Carolina that's used by a lot of stock car and NASCAR teams, and we're going to do some more testing to kind of validate our assumptions about the aerodynamics of this vehicle and use that data to try to build our next solar car. So we'll be designing a brand new vehicle this coming summer. We'll be doing a lot of fundraising, trying to find donors, both corporate donors and individual donors to help fund this project. For building Xenith, we put about $500,000 worth of parts into the vehicle, not including all the labor and man hours that went into building and designing the car. But definitely this summer is our time to design our next solar car and build up all the resources that we need to actually build this vehicle and race it in the World Solar Challenge.
Sounds also very exciting to me, and because you're going to leave with this vehicle on a trailer to North Carolina on Thursday, that's actually why we determined this event here today, because we definitely wanted to say goodbye to you, best of luck, and have a great summer testing there in North Carolina. Thanks for coming here to us today. Thanks. That is basically it. So these were 8 exciting vehicles, and I think it was a terrific showcase, and I really enjoyed it a lot, and I really wanted to thank the Cars and Race programs and the members of these programs actually making this event possible. The members being Allstate, BMW, Chrysler, Ford, Honda, Hyundai, Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Nissan, Packard, Renault, Robert Bosch, State Farm, Toyota, Volkswagen, Volvo Cars, Volvo Group. 2 years ago, I could just memorize these companies and just tell them in the alphabetical order. I'm very honored that I'm not able to do this anymore. And I also want to thank sincerely the RES Institute in Naples, Florida, and Miles Collier, who makes the RES program at Stanford possible. And I want to thank all of you coming here today and encourage you to stick out and stand out with us a little bit longer here. And most of all, I want to thank all the presenters who are already over there, that they brought their vehicles here today and really made this a very terrific event. Thanks everyone for coming.